Hey everybody, AC here, and welcome back to another episode of Man-Gust, Volume 3. Now, we're talking about number 16. Number 16 of the mangas that deserve an anime adaptation. And number 16 is, and I wrote it down because it's a long one, I want to earn money using the skills I've been given to flirt with beautiful women from another world. This one is another one of those horny boy mangas. You know the ones like things like plus sized elf and monster Masumi, interspecies reviewers, all that stuff. World's End Harem. How they're all basically hentai without being hentai. They skirt the line between hentai and manga. This one I like though. I really like this one. Now that's not to say any of those others are bad per se. In fact, interspecies reviewers is kind of the GOAT, honestly. It's pretty awesome. But this one I really do hope gets an anime adaptation. Because in the world that he is sent to, he's not really given any sort of direction as to what he's supposed to do. He's not really given he's not really told to do anything. He's just given another chance at life, because he was always a very kind and selfless. He was always a very kind and selfless person in his first life, but he never really did any. He never really took the time to try to find a girl for himself. And so the goddess reincarnated him is like, hey, I'll give you a chance to live a second life in the world that I govern. And that's it. She just kind of sends him on his way, and he finds that he has a crafting skill, that he can quite easily craft things like potions and different healing and buffing potions, and as well as create different like shields and weapons and armor. And so he decides to make a potion selling business. And the more he makes it, the better he gets. He starts off being able to make it goes from F tier to S tier. F tier being the weakest and S tier being the strongest. He goes from being able to make D tier potions and stuff, but very quickly bumps up to B tier. Very quickly he learns how to make B tier ones, but he still decides to sell D tier and a couple C tier ones. They're pretty effective. People seem to like them. The adventurers seem to really like them, and so he starts to get his wares start to get popular. And so because there's more demand for it, he gets more practice in making them, and he gets better and better and better. And so now he can make S tier ones, and so he does make a few of them, but he doesn't want to, he still wants people to buy his stuff. He doesn't want people to be intimidated by him having S tier potions. So he ends up having like one S tier potion and like a bunch of A tier, B tier, C tier, and D tier potions that he can sell to different adventurers. He's making all this money, and what does he do with this money? He goes to a brothel. He goes to a brothel with it, and I mean, that already is based. That already is pretty based. But he, in this world, apparently, in this world, um, women with, women with smaller chests are seen as beautiful. Women with larger chests are seen as ugly in this world. And women that are 30 or above are seen as old hags. And so he basically goes to this brothel, and he basically just one by one starts requesting each of the women with large chests. And so he just continues to have his fun with them, and eventually his business gets so good that he can no longer sell from a stall because he just has too many people that want to buy from him, and he can't fit as many wares on his stall as there are customers. So he purchases a home that he can turn into a shop. So it'll be both a shop and his home. And he ends up getting a few girls to join him. He ends up getting a few of the girls from the brothel to basically quit their jobs at the brothel and come join him. Come join him and work for him at the shop. And it's just okay. Sorry, thought I heard something. But he basically has all of these girls that he took from brothels, gave a new job, working at his shop, and he just continues to build his harem as he gets more and more successful. And there is a lot of not safe for work content. You should absolutely read this only when you're alone. Do not read this in public. Do not read this anywhere where anyone could possibly see you. But it is a really funny series. It is really funny, and the dude is so friggin' lucky. Like, this world actually seems like a really fun world to be in. There's no, as far as we know, there's no like demon lord. There are monsters that have to be beaten, but there are plenty of adventurers to deal with all of that. It just, I don't know. It seems like a very peaceful world, and I know that I would love to be in this world. That said, what I've gone through is basically the extent of the series so far. There aren't a whole lot of chapters to this series just yet. So it's not going to get any further down this list. I can't put it any higher than this. Perhaps in the future, if it continues to get better, then it could possibly raise higher in the list. But for now, this is where it's at. So, in any case, thank you all so much for watching. Hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next one. Take care.